Hello again, friends. This is episode 3 of the Let's Play. We are going to be playing 5 more decks. 4 of them are going to have Mr. Invincible as a key card in the deck, so that should be fun. So the first one is a classic, Invincible Overlord. One of the things that makes Invincible Overlord a little bit unfortunate compared to some other mixed decks is that Overlord requires you to have another Kagero unit out, otherwise he's going to lose 2,000 power. And being 16k is absolutely integral, especially when he's 21k on the restand, to making this deck function. And it is a stand trigger focused deck. Now, if we wanted to, we could remove all of the Kagero rearguards that we're running here and make it so that we were running 16 Nova Grappler stands. Stands and Nova Grappler, I believe, are the only combination of triggers and clan that can do a mono clan of all one trigger in this particular format. But because Kagero rearguards are required for Overlord, we're kind of stuck. So that's why I am running a Kagero stand trigger, when otherwise I may not be doing that. But yeah, the big idea is just to get Dragonic Overlord on the rearguard, use 3 counterblast so that it gets up to 16k, attack with a boost into a rearguard, which is going to force them to discard 2 cards, or they're going to lose their rearguard. And if they lose their rearguard, you get to attack the other one, so they're going to have to drop at least 1 card, or they're going to lose that rearguard. And if they let that one go, then you get to swing at their Vanguard, and if they let that one go, then you've already got plus 2 cards from that. Well, they've lost 2 cards from that. And then if you get a stand trigger, he's going to be 21k, which is going to be an absolute menace to stop the next time around. So I really do like the synergy between Dragonic Overlord's effect and the stand triggers, and I think that this deck is pretty good. Obviously, Mr. Invincible, Hungry Dumpty, and Claydol Mechanics for unflipping as well will make it so that you can do that on a very, very consistent basis. So that's the first one. This is one that's been widely used. Everyone knows about it. It's a good deck. The next one is going to be Invincible Aleph. So this deck works much the same way as Invincible Overlord. We have a rearguard embodiment of victory Aleph. He is, instead of Counterblast 3, Counterblast 4, and then he gets plus 3,000 power and a bonus crit. So he's going to be 13,000 power with a bonus crit. Obviously they're going to have to stop this, but then we're running the same general idea as the last one. 12 stands, 4 heals here. And then when he does restand, he's going to be restanding as an 18,000 power 2 critical rearguard, which is very nice, and that means that critical pressure has the potential to double up. And while it is 1 more counterblast, we still do have that full unflip engine of Hungry Dumpty and Claydol Mechanic and Mr. Invincible to try and make it so that we can do it multiple times a game. Ideally, 2 turns in a row to try and finish it out is what you're looking for. And then he's 21k with this 8k boost, 20k with a 7k boost. All in all, pretty good. And then your other row is probably going to be either a freshly called Hungry Dumpty or an 11k attacker or a 10k attacker. So that's the gist of how that deck works. Moving on. This one is called Invincimon, just because I could not fit Best Final Turn North Korea. This was the deck that I used in my Best Final Turn North Korea video, where I had a massive Amon in my center, and then I swung Rearguard, Amon, hit 2 critical triggers. I put both of the criticals on Amon, even though he perfect guarded, and then I put all of the bonus power on Mr. Invincible. I attacked with Mr. Invincible into a Rearguard, and then he hit, because he let it go, because it was 29,000 power at his dinky little Rearguard that was 9k. And he did have a perfect guard in hand, and if he had used the perfect guard to stop Invincible, then he would have survived the turn, but I don't think he was thinking about it. But Mr. Invincible does have his effect that when it hits, you can Mega Blast and then stand all of your units. That works even if you attack into a rearguard, even when Mr. Invincible is a rearguard. And since Darker Regulars always is going to have that 8 soul, as long as I have the counterblasts available, then it can work, and it did work in that particular case. And then since Amon stood up with 3 critical, and he was still pretty beefy even after Soul Blasting 8, we were able to just completely steamroll that guy. Moving on to the next. Oh, I forgot to mention. For this particular version of the deck, I'm running No Life King Death Anchor instead of Amon. The reason why I ran Amon in the original version of the deck list wasn't so I could use Amon's Counterblast 1, move a card to Soul, because we're not going to have the Counterblast available for that, because this one does not want Invincible to be the Vanguard. Rather, it used the House of Amon cards to draw, or to soul charge 2. But because those don't exist yet, I mean, that's why it's not there. So that's why No Life King, who just soul charges 1 every turn, is the Vanguard here. Next up, we have Invincible Alfred. So Barkle is back. That's a thing. And because Barkle is back, I decided to go ahead and just put him in because I didn't really feel like there was a better starter. Wingle Brave and Snowgull, both of which would have been vanillas in this deck, didn't really have any purpose. So we went ahead and just went with Barkle. That gives us 5 soul when we go into grade 3. Mr. Invincible is going to soul charge 1, which will be the 6th soul. And then it'll also countercharge the damage that we did for bringing out Barkle. So we'll be at no damage and 6 soul. So this means that if I don't see Alfred, or if I opt not to use Alfred because I have enough units, then Mr. Invincible is still going to be a threat on the board. And if he hits, then I get to stand all of my units. Conversely, if I do choose to go with Alfred, or if I have Alfred, I can counterblast 3 and then get out a Lion Mane Stallion. Lion Mane Stallion is Soul Blast 1 when it boosts an Alfred, it becomes a 10k booster. So then that's a 20k row on that side. And then Alfred, because he is a rear guard, his effect right here still works on rear guard circle. So you can search your deck for a grade 2 or less Royal Paladin, call it to rear guard and shuffle your deck. And then you can use Invincible to continue to soul charge and unflip the damage. So Hungry Dumpty and Claydol also perform that. And then when you're soul blasting for Lion Mane Stallion, the soul charge that you get from Mr. Invincible also pays for that. So this deck is actually incredibly synergistic. And I decided just for fun, because nobody ever plays this card, to throw in High Dog Breeder Seirin. Seirin is Counterblast 1, choose another of your Royal Paladin High Beasts, and it gets 4,000 power until end of turn. You can actually use this on the Lion Mane Stallion that's boosting Alfred to make it 24k, which is either a ridiculously good number against a grade 2 unit, or enough to be able to bypass the defense of a cross ride. And we do have, I believe, well, we got the 2 Blaster Blades, and we're running 11 crits and 1 Flogel. If you were to opt to keep Flogel on the board in order to use it as a beater, and then maybe call the lose for just like free advantage, that is an option that Barkle decks have historically used. I don't know if I would do that with this deck, but it is something that you can do, and if you choose to do that, then Seirin can also make the Flogel a 9k booster as well. But other than that, we don't have any real high beasts other than the Lion Mane Stallions, but those are forming a very specific purpose, and all in all, the deck works very well. And the final deck that we're going to be running today is Card Fight Vanguard. This deck actually, I believe, got top 16 or top 32 at the original California Regionals in 2012. However, it was a version that had access to Cavalry of Black Steel. Cavalry of Black Steel gave you Dudley Daisy, which really wasn't called very often in that deck, and Reckless Express, which was, and Reckless Express can hit for 12k as a grade 1 for Soul Blast 1, and then you shuffle it into deck at the end of the attack. That deck actually performed very well because you can make 16k rows with any given 8k vanillas. So that is the general premise of the deck. In order to hit triggers, though, I have decided to go with Kagero and Shadow Paladin. Kagero because of Lord Ez. Lord Ez is when it attacks. If your opponent has 2 or less rear guards, then it's a 9k attacker. And since we're going to be grade 1 rushing, I don't anticipate that they're going to board flood. And this is going to be used to try and get that early advantage. It's not going to be very strong once we get any further than the first or second turn attacking. And then the reason why I went with Shadow Paladin was so that we could run Garuru Bow, which is when it attacks a Vanguard, it attacks for 9,000 power if you have a Shadow Paladin Vanguard. The idea for this particular deck is to specifically have a Shadow Paladin Vanguard. So either we ride a Shadow Paladin and Garuru Bow is active, or we ride a Kagero and then pull back Conroe, and then Garuru Bow is not active yet, but we could ride a Shadow Paladin later, or we just deal with having weaker rows and we go for the 8Ks as much as we can. Unfortunately, this is all just to hit triggers. We do not have as good of a grade 1 rush. We don't have the best assets for that in this particular format because there just aren't enough good attacking grade 1s. We had to scrape the bottom of the barrel just to find 2 examples A bunch of other ones are Counterblast 1 to attack for 9k, or Soul Blast 1 to attack for 9k. The Counterblast 1 to attack for 9k would probably work a little bit better, but the Soul Blast ones are very, very impractical. If you move back your starter, you don't have any soul. So as a grade 1 rush deck, that's just not as practical, and most of the 9k attackers are Soul Blast 1. Additionally, we are running Grapeshot Wyvern and Darkside Pegasus as additional potential ride options, but then they also give 2000 power to rear guards, and you can use that to kind of force out an extra stage here or there, insofar as that is possible. But generally speaking, the purpose of this deck is to pray that you get a bar and pray that you get your Karen, and then ideally maybe get a Garuru Bow or two. And where are the rest of my Garuru Bows? Hang on, I have to adjust this deck real quick. I just realized I'm only running 2. I knew that I needed to get more, and I made more, but I don't think I ever added them to the deck. Yep, there they are. Okay, so adjusting, we're going to take out one Marin and one of the vanilla I think is ugliest, so this one. Boom. Alright. Alright, so with that, we're going to go with Invincible Overlord for the first deck. And we're going to go ahead and start playing. So we'll go ahead and go here. So I believe he runs Nova Grapplers.
Stand up! Vanguard! 僕のターンです。ドローです。ライド、スキル発動。スペリオルコール。ターンエンド。私のターン、ドロー。
Nope. There we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead and ride Screaming and Dancing. I'm just going to shuffle this back in the deck.
Vanguard にアタック。スキル発動。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。よし、スタンドトリガー。あ、ダメージチェック。
So we do have Kagero stands in here, so it's going to be a tiny bit awkward while we try and get those until we get the Kagero unit out and make sure that we're going to have everything we need to use the effects here.
Vanguard にアタック。ノーガード。ダメージチェック。スタンドトリガー。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。スキル発動。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェック。ターンエンド。スキル発動。私のターン、ドロー。
Alright, which one do we want to ride? So we have to have more rear guards. I mean, I kind of don't want to waste stun flips. But I also don't have an Invincible, so that may not matter. Alright, let's do it this way. Oh, come to think of it, I guess I didn't need... Well, I did want to do that, though. So, like, the thought process here is, did I necessarily want to call the 5k behind Vanguard? But, yeah, I did.
ドにアタック。ノーガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
I mean, why not?
ノーガード。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。ライド。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ドライブチェック。ドライブチェック。ヒールトリガー。
Ugh.
ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。
Oh, I guess my mind's been made up for me.
ライド。コール。リアガードにアタック。スキル発動。ノーガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。スタンドトリガー。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェック。ゲット。ヒールトリガー。
Alright.
ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。コールです。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
Oh, that's kind of funny. Yeah, no guard.
ノーガード。ドライブチェック。
I wonder if he's gonna rewrite over that.
クリティカルトリガー。ダメージチェック。スタンドトリガー。
Okay. I give the power here.
ダメージチェック。ヴァンガードにアタ
We
ック。
just intercept the Dumpty and we're good.
インターセプト。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。
Alright, we'll go ahead and use Overlord.
スキル発動。コール。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。
Alright, if he intercepts, that sucks.
ノーガード。
Yeah, I didn't think he
ダメ
would.
ージチェック。ゲット。クリティカルトリガー。リアガードにアタック。ガードです。ドライブチェック。
Wow.
リアガードにアタック。ノーガード。
Alright, well, I just played Counterblast 3 to lose a card.
ター
Nice.
ンエンド。僕のターン。ドロー。ライドです。コール。リアガードにアタック。
I can't let that hit.
ガード。リアガードにアタック。ガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ドライブチェック。
So if they do destroy my rear guard over here, ugh, then Overlord is going to lose 2,000 power.
発動リアガードにアタックノーガードヴァンガードにアタックノーガードあダメージチェックターンエンド私のターンドロー
Well, that's the weakness with every single Overlord deck. It's that if you don't get or if you don't get Invincible, then you can't win.
Vanguard にアタックノーガードダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックガードドライブチェック
Wow, just in time.
ドライブチェック
Wow. Alright, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Oh, hello?
そんな
So Invincible Overlord does work, but that did not do a very good job of it. Alright, we'll try for round 2. Oh man, it'd be awkward if I lost every single match today. Maybe Mr. Invincible hates me.
お願いします
よっしゃファイトだ
Alright, going first, that's gonna help.
スタンドアップヴァンガード私のターンドローライドスキル発動スペリオルコールスキル発動ターンエンド
俺のターンドローライドスキル発動だスペリオルコールヴァンガードにアタック
ノーガード
ドライブチェック
ダメージチェックよしヒールトリガー
ターンエンド
私のターンドローライドコールコールヴァンガードにアタックスキル発動
ノーガードだ
ドライブチェック
ダメージチェック
ヴァンガードにアタック
ノーガードだダメージチェック
ターンエンド
スタンド&ドローライドスキル発動だ
It feels like whenever I play this guy, he always just has the lowest possible power rides.
コールヴァンガードにアタック
ノーガード
ドライブチェックよしクリティカ
Yeah,
ルトリガー
every single cell in my body was screaming to drop the 10k to know past this
ダメージチェ
and
ッ
to
ク
be a good player. But another part of me is like, okay, but if I don't have damage, I can't showcase what this deck's gimmick is.
ターンエンド
私のターンドローライドスキル発動 ヴァンガードにアタック。
ノーガードだ。ダメージチェック。
ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
ノーガードだ。
ドライブチェック。よし、スタンドトリガー。ドライブチェック。
ダメージチェック。クリティカルトリガー。
Yep, that's the second time in a row that that's happened. Because if he didn't hit the trigger there, this would be 5k, this would be 15k, which would be 3 cards out of hand. But now it's just 1 card out of hand.
ノーガードだ。ダメー
Oh
ジチェッ
wait,
ク。
no, I did my math wrong anyway. Because that was already 18 to 7. My brain doesn't comprehend that his unit is 7,000 base power because that never happens. Either way, he's at 5 and I'm running stand triggers, so that's a good thing.
ドロー。
Bad news is, where is Aleph?
ライド。コールコール。いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
ノーガード。ダメージチェック。
スキル発動。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
ガード。
スキル発動。いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。スキル発動。スペリオルコール。
スキル発動。完全ガード。
ドライブチェック。よし、クリティカルトリガー。ドライブチェック。いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
ガード。
Alright, let's
ス
see
キル
what
発
we
動。
draw.
ターンエンド。
私のターン。ドロー。
Well, there are elves in this deck, I think. Maybe.
スキル発動。コール。
Oh well.
ヴァンガー
So
ドに
4
アタッ
attacks
ク。
that he's gonna have to stop.
ガード。
ヴァンガードにアタック。
ガード。
ドライブチェック。ドライ
Oh
ブチェ
yeah,
ック。
I
スタンドトリガー。
so my particular Vanguard skill makes it so that hit either a front trigger or a critical trigger. That should be updated to stand trigger as well. Anyway, now spreading the power is going to be good because this is 1 card from hand and the other one's 2 cards from hand.
ガード。
ヴァンガードにアタック。
スキル発動。完全ガード。
Oh, I still have 25k shield, although he can call a unit from
タ
deck.
ーンエンド。
スタンドアンドドロー。いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動だ。スペリオルコール。スキル発動。
That's going to be minimum 15. This one's minimum 10. Well, I'm eating one of these, basically no matter what. If he hits a crit, I'm dead regardless. So I think I just no guard, right? Well, no. I should 2 to pass this one. And then no guard the next one.
ガード。
ドライブチェック。スキル発動。スペリオルドライブチェック。
Oh, a superior drive check.
いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。
Oh, any card in my deck should make a good number
インターセプト。
with a tough boy boost, so we'll intercept with this one.
いけ。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。
ノーガード。 ダメージチェック。
スキル発動。
The music is off now, apparently.
私のターン。ドロー。
Wow, that's one of the few cards that don't make magic numbers with it.
スキル発動。
So all 4 of my Alephs
コール。
are still in my 26 card deck. Okay then, whatever.
ヴァンガードにアタック。
Actually, I should have attacked. Well,
スキル発動。
he can't block this one.
ノーガードだ。ダメージチェック。
やった。次も負け
There,
な
the
いか
music's
ら。
back. Yay.
負け。
So I have now failed to showcase either Invincible deck. Alright, let's try for deck number 3, see if we can get that one to work.
どのデッキを見る？お願いします。お願いします。
Okay, we got the right Vanguard, and not having the grade 2 doesn't matter at all. So let's do it this way. Wow,
スタンドアップ。ヴァンガード。
my hand has
僕の
improved.
ターン。ドロー。ライド。スキル発動。スペリオルコール。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。ライド。スキル発動。スペリオルコール。スキル発動。スペリオルコール。コール。スキル発動。
Alright, whatever. So now if I hit another grappler trigger, it's not going to proc.
ノーガード。ドライブチェック。あ、ダメージチェック。ターンエンド。スタンド&ドロー。ライド。スキル発動。コール。スキル発動。コール。スキル発動。ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。スキル発動。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェック。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ターンエンド。スキル発動。スタンド&ドロー。
Actually, hang on. Oh. Does G-Assist require you to have a, like, to get the specific grade card? I thought it just let you put a card from hand. Oh. Actually, no, that'd be broken if it did, because, like, grade 1 Rush could do stupid stuff. Oh, I don't know if that's ever a consideration for this, but... Oh.
スキル発動。スペリオルコール。
Either way.
スキル発動。スペリオルライド。
Let's go ahead and call this one here.
コール。スキル発動。
Yeah. Alright, I might actually be able to do stuff this game.
ヴァンガード
And
に
now
ア
all
タ
of our
ック。
triggers are live.
ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェック。ゲット。クリティカルトリガ
So next turn we get to ride Invincible, and then call Alfred. Invincible's going to unflip the damage that we already spent.
切る発動コールヴァンガードにアタック
So I'll take the 2 rear guard attacks, and then I'll 10k the other one.
ダメージチェックよしヒールトリガーヴァンガードにアタックノーガードドライブチェックゲットスタンドトリガードライブチェックダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックガードカーンエンド
Alright, now we can finally do what this deck is trying to do. Oh, hello.
ライドスキル発動コールスキル発動ステリオルコールコールヴァンガードにアタックノーガードドライブチェッククリティカルトリガードライブチェックもうダメダメージチェックダメージチェック
Nice. This is 10k to guard. The other one's 20k to guard. Normally, actually, now that I think about it, I should have put the trigger over on the other side. What am I doing? It's like I forgot how to trigger.ノーガードダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックですガードドライブチェックゲットヒールトリガー Oh, that's annoying.
ドライブチェックカーンエンド私のターンドロー
Okay, so this is another cool thing that this deck can do if I want to. Do I want to is the question, though. Yeah, actually, I know what I'm going to do. Alright, so this is going to be a cool play. I hope you guys are ready for it. So what we're going to do is we're going to soul charge one and unflip one. And now we're going to use Leon. Tap, discard an Invincible, and draw a card because we need to get these grade 3s out of hand regardless. And now we're going to call over Leon. Move this to Soul. Countercharge 1. And then we're going to get another doggy out of our deck. I don't know why I called it a doggy. It's a Lion Mane Stallion. Whatever. Alright, so we're going to get a Lion Mane Stallion out. So now we have 20k on both of these rows. Too bad this is an 11k instead of a 10k because this would be absolutely incredible. But that also deck thinned as well. Alright, let's go ahead and go in.
Vanguard にアタックガードドライブチェックドライブチェック クリティカルトリガー
Nice.
リアガードにアタックスキル発動ノーガードヴァンガードにアタックスキル発動ガードです
Okay, so he's just about out of cards now.
ターンエンドスタンドドロー
We only have 20k shield, but we can afford to take a damage at least.
ヴァンガードにアタックノーガードダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックガードヴァンガードにアタックガードドライブチェックドライブチェックターンエンド私のターンドロー
Alright, let's go ahead and call it. I don't know if we're going to win this turn, but we're going to do it anyway.
スキル発動コールスキル発動スキル発動
Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers left.
スペリオルコールヴァンガードにアタックスキル発動完全ガードドライブチェック
20% chance
ド
to
ライブ
crit
チェック
here.
クリティカルトリガー
Yeah. Alright, so they have one card in hand. That means that they cannot stop my side row, so we'll swing this
リ
here.
アガードにアタック
No need to Soul Blast.
ノーガード
And they cannot stop this attack, which is going to deal 2 damage.
ヴァンガードにアタックスキル発動ノーガードもうダメダメージチェック
And remember, kids, deck thinning is deck
ダメー
winning.
ジチェック私の勝ちね
Even though, you know, Barkle thinned my deck of all of my triggers first.
負けちゃっ
Let's pretend that that wasn't the case. Alright, next up we're going to play Best Final Turn North Korea. So I apparently ran, I don't know what happened, but my recording stopped on the last 2 matches, so I'm going to go ahead and redo
私の
a
勝ちね
couple of those fights. So this deck is Vanguard. So it's a grade 1 rush deck.
始めよ必ず勝つスタンドアップ
I'm going first, which, wait, I could have picked to go
私の
second.
ターンドロー
Oh, whatever. I never claimed to be a smart man.
ライドスキル発動スペリオルコールターンエンドスタンドドローライドスキル発動
Premise of this deck is just
ヴァンガー
vomit ド your
にアタ
hand
ック
onto the board, beat the crap out of your opponent. The end.
ノーガードドライブチェックね
So it looks like I have to re-record my Dark Irregulars. I'm on Invincible mixed deck as well, which I guess is
ス
fine.
タンドドロー ス
Yeah, we'll do it this way.
ライドコールコールスキル発動
Conro doesn't need a Kagero Vanguard, just needs to grab a Kagero unit.
コールコールコール
And there you can see that we've got everything that we need for this to get
ヴァン
started.
ガードにアタック
I was actually playing this just a couple minutes ago before I realized that my recording had corrupted or whatever.
ダメージチェッ
And
ク
I did not secure a Kagero unit to play. And then my first drive check was a Kagero critical trigger, so I was pretty sad about that,
ヴァ
but
ンガードにアタッ
that's
ク
not going to be a problem in this game since my triggers are half
No,
Kagero, half
ド
Shadow
ライブ
Paladin.
チェッククリティカルトリガー
Nice.
ダメージチェックねスタンドトリガーダメージチェックねヴァンガードにアタックガードするわ
So we did free damage and forced out a 10k shield. That's a very, very strong first turn.
私のターンよドローライドコールコール
Wow.
ヴァンガードにアタックするわ
It's a straight up vanilla off over here.
ノーガードダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックノーガードドライブチェックねダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックガードターンエンド私のターンドロー
One thing that I think could be better optimized about this deck would be finding some way to deal with... I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Finding some way to deal with counterblast
ヴ
usage.
ァンガードにアタッ
Because
ク
right now this deck doesn't use any counterblast other than Conro.
スキル発動ノーガードいやダメージチェックねヒールトリガー
That's unfortunate. And had I just eaten the other one,
ヴァンガード
then
にア
that
タ
wouldn't
ッ
have
ク
been able to go off.
ノーガードドライブチェックいやダメージチェックねヴァンガードにアタックインターセプトターンエンド
Well,
私の
that was
ターン
nowhere near as
ド
good
ロ
of a
ー
turn.
ライドスキルを発動するわスペリオルコールスキルを発動するわヴァンガードにアタックノーガードダメージチェッククリティカルトリガーヴァンガードにアタックガードドライブチェッククリティカルトリガードライブチェックヒールトリガー
Okay, so they failed twice already. Yay.
ヴァン
And
ガー
I
ド
have
に
to
アタッ
dump
ク
every single card in my hand now, or I auto lose.
ガード
Ugh.
ターンエンド私のターンドロー
Well, it's not the end of the world. They're in a pretty precarious position themselves unless they have another grade
ヴァ
3
ンガー
ride.
ドにアタックスキル発動ガードするわヴァンガードにアタックノーガードドライブチェッククリティカルトリガーダメージチェックねドロートリガーダ
I'm
メー
getting
ジチェック
triggered over here.
ドロートリガーヴァンガードにアタック インターセプト。ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。ライドするわ。
Oh, of course, they had another
スキ
ride.
ル発動。コールコール。スキル発動。ヴァンガードにアタックするわ。ガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ヒールトリガー。
Are you serious?
ドライブチェック。ダメージチェック。クリティカルトリガー。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガ
Is
ード。
this another one of the cases where the AI is cheating again? I don't know.
ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。
But we're at 2 defensive draws and 3 successful heals.
ヴァンガードにアタック。スキル発動。ガードするわ。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ドライブチェック。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガ
You
ー
know,
ド。
at this point, I'm not even mad at this. We did 8 damage to them, and they hit 2 defensive draw triggers, and they're still floundering for cards.
ターンエンド。
So I think that this showcased that this deck was pretty good.
ライドするわ。スキル発動。スキル発動。
Yeah, they're definitely cheating.
ヴァンガードにアタック。
Oh, whatever.
ノーガード。あー、ダメージチェック。そんな。
Only so much you can do against someone actively cheating. So, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and swap over to the other deck that I was in the middle of playing when my recording stopped. Honestly, this is one of the things that's frustrating me about Dear Days 2, is that I kind of just want to play a game of Vanguard. I don't necessarily want to play like a story-driven plot of Vanguard, if that makes sense. Because the way that this is working right now is you get onto the game and you try and play the game, and then the opponent stacks the deck so that they get their perfect ride set up and they keep hitting triggers. And if I wanted to do that, I would just play standard, because that's all standard is. Ugh.
ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガード。ドライブチェック。ダメージチェックね。
Well, looks like I'm going to be able to soul charge about half of my deck next turn.
ターンエンド。私のターンよ。ドロー。ライド。コール。スキル発動。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガード。ドライブチェックね。クリティカルトリガー。ダメージチェック。ダメージチェック。ドロートリガー。
So actually in the game that I was playing, where I was sampling No Life King Death Anchor,
ターンエンド。私のターン。
it ended up being the case that I had a single copy of Mr. Invincible in the damage zone, and then I could no longer activate his effect.
コール。
Okay, so it's May. I'll go ahead and do it this time. Wow.
コール。スキル発動。スキル発動。
Alright, we're good on soul. We don't need any more.
コール。 ドにアタック。ノーガードドライブチェック。ダメージチェックね。
So if I do miss Death Anchor, then if I have the 5 face-up damage, we at least have the option of using a Mega Blast
ガードするわ。
with Mr. Invincible.
ターンエンドスタンドアンドドロー。
And then we can get an extra
ライ
2
ド
cards on the
ス
drive
キル
check
を
as
発
well.
動するわ。スペリオルコール。スキルを発動するわ。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガードドライブチェックね。ドライブチェックね。クリティカルトリガー。
Is that 2 crits in a row? Wow.
ダメージチェック。クリティカルトリガー。ダメージチェック。ヴァンガードにアタック。
You know what? Sure.
ノーガード。あ、ダメージチェック。クリティカルトリガー。
I'm basically out of crits in my deck now. Woohoo!
ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。ライ
You know what really sucks? I don't have a single 5k
ド。スキル発
booster.
動。コール。
So now there's no incentive for me to boost my Mr. Invincible here.
リアガードにアタック。ノーガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ヴァンガードにアタック。ノーガード
Keck
ド
wall.
ライブチェック。ヒールトリガー。
Okay, this game hates me. This is like when you heal out
ドライ
of
ブチェック。
Great Dayusha's
よ
Limit
し
Break.
ヒールトリガー。
You know, if I'm gonna heal, I would rather heal twice, so at least there's that.
ダメージチェックね。ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。
Wow.
ガード。ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。スキル発動。コール。ヴァンガードにアタック。
I don't even know what to say about this particular game of
God
Cardfight
is
Vanguard anymore. I'm at a loss for words.
ヴァンガードにアタック。
Like, holy crap. This is the dumbest game of
No,
Vanguard I
that-
think I've ever played.
ドライブチェック。
Let's heal again.
ドライブチェック。ダメージチェックね。ヴァンガードにアタック。ガード。ターンエンド。私のターン。ドロー。ヴァンガードにアタック。
Let's just point out here that if the computer wasn't completely stupid, they could just move this to Soul, activate the effect, and still be able to attack, which would let them draw the top 2 cards of their deck, which may be the other grade 3 they need to write anyway.
ガード。
So now I'm gonna win this game just because they're too
Fine.
stupid to attack with their
スタ
Vanguard.
ンドドロー。
Alright, well, I'll take it.
ライド。スキル発動。
Yeah, who needs to crit anyway?
ヴァンガードにアタック。ガードするわ。 ヴァンガードにアタックガードするわ
Oh, I was trying to cheat, but they wouldn't let me. When they get to 5 damage, I get a free guaranteed critical.
ヴァンガー
But
ドにアタック
oh well.
ノーガードドライブチェックドライブチェックいやダメージチェックターンエンド私のターンよドローコールヴァンガードにアタックノーガードダメージチェックヴァンガードにアタックノーガードダメージチェックターンエンド
Wow.
スタンドドロー
So now I can't even use Death Anchor. Whatever.
スキル発動
All right, time to do the play. I can't even hit the crit. I can't even hit my guaranteed crit now because that was my last crit. Holy crap. All right, whatever. We're gonna have fun. This is for fun.
リアガードにアタ
You
ッ
are
ク
gonna get attacked into. I'm gonna get all the drive checks,
ノーガードドライブチェック
and it's not gonna be a trigger.
ドライブチェック
And then Mr. Invincible is gonna attack
リアガ
over
ードに
here.
アタックノーガード
Mega Blast.
スキル発動
And then we're gonna finish them off with one more Death Anchor swing.
ヴァンガードにア
Yeah.
タックノーガードドライブチェックドライブチェックドロートリガーいやダメージチェック
If they had healed out of that, that would have been hilarious. Anyway, that was one of the dumbest games of Cardfight Vanguard I think I've ever played.
負け
Anyway, I will come back tomorrow with 5 more decks. And then, like I said, after that I'm going to switch to content that's more geared towards making specific gameplay videos for specific decks to showcase how they work a lot better than what this video did. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one.